Hey, good morning, guys. Welcome back to the Rod Shop. I'm Captain Lee, and today we're working on a special project, so stick around. Okay, Rod Shop is destroyed. It's been a few weeks since I've been able to get a video out, and that's because it takes about twice as long to build a rod when I'm doing it on camera. Plus, I've got to edit and get it to you. And we had over 20 rods go out in November, and there's another 12 or so sitting over there, from ultralight to I got one fly rod over there to some heavies, and I've even got a fast glass rod flipping stick we're going to do, and I'm going to try to do that one on video. But today we're working on repairing a beautiful handle set that I put together. It's one of those that I was just playing with, experimental, ultralight, fast. It's the DS760 ultralight fast rod from North Fork Composites. And while we were moving around, we had extra table in here. We had 5 dryers going at one time and 2 wrappers going, and it got crazy in here. And this rod was standing, and then it fell. Didn't think anything of it. I heard it hit. Picked it back up, stood in the corner, and then Nathan started to put the guides on and to load test it, and we discovered this. Yep, when it fell, because this is a high mod, super sensitive blank, it fell. It must have hit exactly right or wrong, depending on your perspective, and shattered the blank. I don't think it was a defect. I don't think it was in shipping. Because it was fine when I splined it, obviously, and then stuff happens. Fortunately, this is not a customer rod. This was a prototype, and we're going to try to repair it. Now, I ordered some ferrules, thinking maybe I could just make it a 2-piece, because that is probably right above the stripper guide. So we'd have a stripper guide, and then the rest of the guides. Or I found this fishing rod repair kit on Amazon. It's got stainless sleeves in it. It's got what looks like carbon fiber inserts that would go in to strengthen it. I've tried repairing rods before, and they haven't lasted very long. This one, because it's an experimental rod, I'm going to try it. And then, if it works, I've got another one over there that lasted one hook set and shattered. I already warrantied that rod out to my client. I haven't filed a warranty claim with NFC yet, because it was fine when it was here, so I don't know. If I can fix it, I'm just going to fix it and give it back to him as a bonus rod. But anyway, we're going to get the mess cleaned up. All the new inventory that came in, we got boxes and boxes, because we were about out of everything. We got another 50 rods came in the other day that still aren't put away. They're back there in the back, ready to be sorted and put away. And we got handles and grips and reel seats and guides and all kinds of stuff that needs to be put away. So I'm going to work on some of that. It's going to take me about an hour and clean this rod shop up a little bit so I can work. But we'll be back through the magic of YouTube right now. So don't go away. Okay, so you just got done fast forwarding through a whole bunch of stuff. Another thing that I bought, and I tried to assemble it. One, directions are in Chinese, not helpful. I mean, there's some English on here, but it's not enough to really do any good. Yeah. It leaves something to be desired, but what it is a arrow shaft cutter. And I think I'm a little out of whack with my set screws here in my alignment. because it's not running true. Anyways, for cutting carbon fiber shafts, and I thought it might be easier than using a cutoff blade. That blade is just warped. I thought it might be easier than using a cutoff blade that I have been using on my handheld grinder, but it may not be. Anyway, trying to innovate. This may have been a bust. We'll find out here in a minute. I'm not thrilled with the rail system it sits on. I'm not thrilled with a lot of things, honestly, but wasn't that expensive. I give it a whirl. If it doesn't work, we'll chunk it. So, first thing we need to do is we're going to put this little guard back on it just in case it comes apart. Is we need to cut this blank above and below the fractured area and make sure you get cut deep enough, far enough either side to get rid of all the splintered. And I think I'm going to cut through, and I'm going to mark it with just regular masking tape. I'm going to turn this camera on too. So you guys might be able to see this. Let me slide down. Well, this is my SPG arrow cutter. It's got a very short cord. And like I said, I'm not sure this is going to work or not, but we're going to give it a whirl. Oh, that's running a little better. Okay, I feel better about that now. Now it does have a depth adjustment, so you can only cut through one outer layer, or you're not cutting all the way straight through. You're going to roll it to cut it. So I'm going to cut through the tape to keep any splinters intact. I'll cut through the middle of the tape there. And we're going to cut through the middle of the tape there. And that should take out the worst part of the break and all of the splinters, I hope. You need some kind of stand back here that's that high. Well, what do we got? What do we got? We got something in here that'll work. Hang on, box. That'll do it. Okay, so we're pretty flat. We're going to make the first cut right here. And we're going to move over in case this thing comes apart. I don't want pieces flying at me. Okay. That was the uppercut. Well, for all my whining and complaining a minute ago, it's actually a handy dandy little tool. So I will put a link down in the description of this video of where I got it. Again, it's designed to cut arrowhead or arrow shafts, but it made a really nice clean cut on that side. Let's see what this side looks like. Gotta get tape off. It's not working with me here. Come on. It's got one little burr, no dust, no splinters. I mean, there was a little bit of dust right here, but not enough to worry about. Got one little nub. And we are in business. Okay, let me get rid of this stuff and then we'll come back and put this thing together. So yeah, don't go away. Okay, so that part is done. We got clean cut both sides. Now we'll take out our fishing rod repair kit and see what it has to say. I glanced at it, but I really haven't read through the directions. We're gonna do it with you guys. I haven't even practiced. Alright, so we're gonna find the best fit carbon sticks. So number one, these are the carbon sticks. Best fit means it can be inserted, but it's tight. That's in the asterisk. So we'll work on this upper section. And honestly, I think this kit was like 10 bucks, guys. So if you can fix one rod with it, you have paid for it. Alright, so that fits pretty well. Okay. You know what? I'm going to spline this again just to make sure that we match it up with the trigger since the handle is already built. That looks like it right there. It's got two. That's a small one. That's the big one right there. Okay, so that'll be on the trigger. Make sure we hit that when we put it back together. We got our carbon sticks, so we don't need any more of these. Alright, number two, find the best fit steel tube. Well, one of these other carbon sticks work because it says something about sanding the carbon sarbon. Maybe they should spell check it, but they didn't. That's going to be too big. Yep, so we had the right one to start with. Finding replacement carbon sticks. Carbon, sarbon, carbon. Yeah, they got to work on some spelling. Because we got epoxy goo. Yeah, this is fun. Alright, so they got some epoxy, which we're not going to use their epoxy, we're going to use ours. We use 5 minute. Alright, so we need to find the best steel tube. Wow, and I think what you could probably do, which is what I've tried in the past but didn't work that great, is on some of your sacrificial busted rods, you can find a piece of rod to go in to do this with, and it did work. Like I said, it wasn't perfect, but it did work. Now the problem we're going to have here is we're right in the middle of the taper, so we are probably going to wind up, alright, that one's close, probably going to wind up with putting an arbor in. That one's same size. I don't think we've got a good fit. Yep, we're definitely going to arbor that up. better parts. It's getting warm in here, guys, and I got a scratchy throat. Alright, that's all the kit that we will need. I mean, if you're just repairing a one-off broken fishing rod of your own, I think $10 with the glue, the epoxy, the brush, sandpaper, the carbon inserts, and the steel tubes. I think that's a pretty good deal. If you can save one expensive rod for $10, I think it was worth it. Alright, so we're probably going to arbor up this first. Alright. So alright, let me get some glue up and we'll come back to this and glue it up. I'm probably going to put it on a stand. I might put it in a power wrapper because it'll hold it better. I think that's what I'll do. So yeah, don't go away. Let's put it in a power wrapper. So we can line it up. I'm gonna move this tape. We're back. I've got it set up in my power wrapper here just to hold it for alignment. These are garbage. The 24-hour glue, that's not gonna work. I've got it lined where it lines up perfectly. Now, a couple things we're gonna need to do is we're probably going to need to arbor the top piece, which, yes, we by far, and even the bottom, because I can't find a better sized. Let's see if I can just, let's get the belt off so it'll turn. Alright, that did the trick on the ferrule on that side. That's about halfway. I'm going to mark it with tape. I know where I want to stop. Okay, don't run away. And then this will slide in, also wobbly. So we're going to, that's home, home mark it. Tape does not want to stick to this high mod blank. Super slick. Okay, that's the high end. So we're gonna need use quarter. We need two different sizes of arbors here. Okay, let's do this other side. Alright, first thing we're going to do then, that's arbored up. No, that was a mark. Okay, now we need to arbor up to go in here. Yep, we'll figure it out. Like I said, I've never done this, but it's worth a shot. Don't want it to go in there, I want it to go in here. And butt up. Nope. I do want that to go in there. That's one wrap too many. Okay. So now it's time to glue. First thing we're going to do is glue that in. Okay, and we'll glue this on, and then we'll slide this up. Bingo, bingo. I think that needs a little more tape there for an arbor on this high end. Well, we'll see how it does when it glues up the glue sets tomorrow. Alright, so we're going to glue, and then glue, and then glue. Try for it one more time. Yep, okay. Alright, now I've got it figured out. Maybe. And it's time to do some gluing. So let's mix up a little 5-minute epoxy pro glue. I'm gonna get a brush. Might make it easier to apply. And we'll get our spatula. Some paper towels. Some alcohol. And we'll glue it up. Okay. Let's see what happens. We just got to remember to line the trigger up on the spline of the top section. Let's see if we can't get a little in side. And then we'll paint it on the insert. That fits snug. Yep, I got it on my finger. And left a fingerprint. Odd bueno. Alright, let's make sure trigger is on the spline, which is right there. Push it up the rest of the way. Yep, you can see my fingerprints right there where I've got epoxy on my fingers and I keep touching that blank. Feels pretty solid and the glue hasn't set yet, so we'll check the spline one more time. That looks good. I'm going to log it down so it doesn't move. Let the epoxy do its work and we will come back and check it in a little bit, so don't go away. Alright, we're back. It's been about an hour. I decided to give it plenty of time before I mess with it. Let's take it out of the wrapper and see how it feels. Now, this was a high mod rod to start with, so I don't have any expectation of it still feeling like a super light high mod rod, but we'll see how it feels. I don't really feel a difference. I'm not thrilled with the silver, but I will probably just do some marbling to match this. In this area, we've got to figure out where that first stripper guide goes, and maybe I'll incorporate it into some kind of under wrap, or marbling underneath the stripper guide or something along those lines. But I salvaged a DS 760, just a 405, which at regular price is like a $200 blank. And I salvaged it from my mistake, obviously. I did not take enough care of this rod when we were building it, but hopefully we'll finish it, and when we get it all built out, I'll show you the end results. But anyway, that's it for repairing a rod using the Amazon fishing rod repair kit. So again, I'll put the link down in the description so you can get one for yourself. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.